So, that was a good morning from Miss Bestet, my precious girl. And I'm doing a check-in on my detox because I'm having some issues today. And it's funny to witness the issues come up. So I've had 7 days of really easy mental attitude during the detox. No problems, feeling enthusiastic, feeling excited about the cooking process, and excited about, the menu plan. And this is what happened. I went to do the menu plan for this week. I started on Saturday, and I just couldn't really get to it on Saturday. And I said, okay, well, it's kind of a Sunday thing anyway. So I'll do it on Sunday. So Sunday comes, and I go to make the menu, and I look through the recipe book, and I realize that there aren't any recipes in the book that I feel like making. So I said, okay, let me approach this again tomorrow and see what I come up with. Well, I went through the book again today, and I still didn't find any recipes in the one book that I'm using. That's the Raw Food Essentials that I felt like using. So I said, okay, well, wait a second. What's going on here? What's this about? And what I think is happening is, number one, I love the flexibility of just eating what I want when I want. If you tell me eat only raw food, if you tell me eat only organic vegetables, I'm good. But I'm accustomed to cooking. And cooking, I can whip anything. You can give me some parsley, and I will whip some parsley into something amazing if I can cook it. But to keep it raw, not totally feeling it. So I'm being forced to rely on recipes. Now, can I go to a different recipe book? Absolutely. But right now, I don't feel like that's going to be helpful for me and what I need. So at this point, anybody who's listening to this video and considering a raw detox over the course of a month, I recommend getting a variety of raw food books and not relying on just one, as I have done. So that's my advice. Now, the good exercise for me, because I have a mind that will kind of use like not having another cookbook as an excuse to not do a program. So what I'm going to do is call in the Angels of Discipline. Woo! Angels of Discipline, come on in and help me just choose some damn recipes and eat some damn food. It is not that big of a deal. Just choose some recipes and eat it. I can eat the exact same thing that I ate last week. What's the problem? Why does it have to be all about drama? It doesn't. That's what I'm saying. So the learning experience for me this week is going to be about realizing that food is not the end-all be-all. This is what I have kind of been struggling with. And this is the next layer. Like, okay, so you eat a week of food that doesn't excite you. Get over it. And it's true. I can get over it. I'm very willing to get over it. So with that being said, I'm going to go through the recipe book that I have, the Raw Essentials recipe book, and I'm going to choose some recipes from it, and I'm going to suck it up and just deal with it. I already feel better about it, just having expressed it and realized why I'm doing what I'm doing. It helps me feel a little bit better. Now, with that said, I did this morning, I felt like making something. So I made some nut butter in my food processor, which I don't usually do. I've always made nut butter in my Vitamix, but since my Vitamix is in Wales, I made nut butter in the food processor. And as the nut butter was processing, I realized and remembered that it gets really hot. when it's being made, even though I use raw nuts. I'm not convinced that this is a raw food product. So you put the nuts in, and whether you use the Vitamix or the food processor, you basically put your nuts in the machine, and the machine works the nuts until they become soft and they become a butter. And this is a chunky butter. It's dense and thick, which is how I like it. I like nice, thick. Even though it's got a smoothness to it, it's still very thick. And but you can make it, you can actually use it in the blender or in your food processor until it's absolutely skippy smooth. And I chose not to do that because I'm thinking, gosh, the more I do that, the more I'm cooking this. And that takes me away from my raw food detox. So I stopped the process, and I'm still not convinced that this is even still considered raw, even though I started with raw nuts. So this is a raw almond and flaxseed concoction, and I use gray sea salt, and it doesn't look all that pretty, but it tastes so good. I could literally eat this whole thing, and I am not, because I don't really want it like that. But I do love making stuff like this. Anyway, so I made some nut butter, and then I made protein balls. So let me show you those. So after you make your nut butter in the food processor, because there's still nut butter in the food processor after you take it out and put it in the jar, I like to just do double duty. So I make these protein balls. And so what you do is you make your nut butter, and then you leave 1/3 cup of your nut butter in the container for the food processor. And then you add, I'll tell you the exact recipe. I won't tell you all the ingredients. I'll post the recipe though. But you add pecans, almonds, walnuts. These are all raw nuts, by the way. Coconut, flaxseed. They say use ground. I used whole because I just feel like I like the texture. You can use spirulina. I didn't have any spirulina, so I didn't use it this time. Dried unsweetened cherries. And you can use, and then almond extract and a little bit of warm water if you want. So you put all that stuff in your food processor. You might, don't add the warm, anyway, don't worry about it. I'm not giving you the recipe, just telling you what's in them. So you put it in the food processor, and it becomes kind of a thick mass, like a dough. And so then you take the dough and you form them into little balls. You can make them nicely shaped. I'm going to be the first to admit that I'm kind of on the lazy side. This is what a ball looks like to me, right? It looks more like a nugget. It's a protein nugget. And anyway, these things are super high in calories, super high in fat, but good fat. And I add chia seeds and flax seeds. Did I say that? I did, yeah. Okay. But they are fantastic desserts, or they're like a Larabar, but better because they just are. And they're just good. So anyway, that's what I did today. One a day will be my sweet tooth solution. That recipe made double, so I'm going to freeze some. And if when I was doing long distance running, I would that would be my one day, my 1 day portion right there. Now it's my 1 week portion because I'm not running. Anyway, so that is my check-in for day 8 of my raw food detox. I'm going to go make my menus, make my meal plan, order my food, and do some food preparation, all with a very good attitude. Feeling healthy. I feel clear. I've done a lot of emotional detoxing. It's a lot easier to get to the bottom of your emotions when you're detoxing. It's like your stuff is coming up and being released, just like the toxins from your body, from your bowels, from your lymphatic system is all being just pumped. I'm feeling like I'm also emotionally releasing a lot of heavy shit. I'm in the process of writing more stuff about my issues with authority. It got heavy. It's hard to write about because it's just hard to see, and then it's hard to get it on paper. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I will get that posted to my blog very soon. For those of you who are experiencing issues of your power, like expressing your power, you don't know where your power is, you don't know how it even looks, you don't even know what it means, your power. That's been me. And I'm just now starting to understand what my power is, you know? And it's not a bad thing. I always thought that power was a bad thing. I thought power was for people who were greedy and who wanted world domination. And I thought it was everything that it's not. And that's what I'm working about. And I'll talk to you more about that whenever I do get inspired. But for right now, that's it for my detox. Thanks for tuning in. Hoping if you're following this or doing a detox on your own, wishing you the best of luck. Stay present and love yourself. Love yourself for even giving it a shot, man. All right. Namaste, friends.